Welcome to Tibra's Den, everyone, and welcome to today's speed build. I'm Whitney. If you haven't already done so, please check out Monday's video to see the sims that are going to be going into this build. It will be linked down in the description below, but pretty much we created the stereotypical farmer's daughter and her parents, along with some critters to go into this farm, and so today we are doing their farm build. And I've been wanting to do a farm build forever, and especially when I started this channel and I downloaded a bunch of custom content stuff, there was a ton of farm stuff and I've been dying to use it ever since. And so I was finally able to do that, and I am so excited, and I love not only how the family turned out, but how this build turned out as well. And I hope you guys will like it as well. Definitely remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification and like this video. It will help me out a lot. And again, I hope you guys enjoy. But basically right now I was working on the fencing, as you can tell. I wanted to use the debug fencing that I had put down. I had found it when I was looking for the pond because I knew I wanted the pond in there. But unfortunately, I knew it wasn't going to work. It didn't work with the gates, and it wasn't going to keep any animals in. So I ended up finding a fencing that was close to it, and that's the fencing I went with for my build because I really wanted to kind of have that farm vibe. And I did start off with the barn and the pasture first because I knew exactly what I wanted for those, and I didn't want to sacrifice that at all. And so that's what I started off with, as you can tell, and then I built the house from that, so I kind of knew how much room I had for the house. And I do put down like a little orchard, and then the mom has like a little garden area as well. But all that, the orchard's done before the house, and then I built the house, and the garden's kind of put with what room I had left. And so I'm really pleased with how this build turned out. Overall, the only thing I wish I had added was like a formal dining room, but I just didn't have the room for that. I really wanted a mud room because I think that is very classic for a farm build, and I wanted like a wraparound porch, again very classic. And so I didn't really have room for a formal dining room. They do have like a little area to eat in the kitchen, and then they have like a big outdoor table on their porch, so if they're like, when the weather's nice and they have company over, they'd probably eat out on the porch with the company, because there's really not an area inside at all. But other than that, I think I got everything I kind of wanted to in this build, and I love the barn. And I was able to put the I downloaded them. I did not create them, but I downloaded a goat, a sheep, and a cow. And so I was able to get them in the barn and lock them in. So they're only able to go in the barn and then out in the pasture. They're not able to go to the rest of the farm at all. And so I was really happy with that. The only other thing I did not think of at the time was I could have sized up like the little toy horse and put that in the barn as well. I didn't think about that, and so I probably will go back at some point and do that, or try to find, I think there is some custom content like horses you can get, so I might go and try to find that as well, to put in this, because I definitely think there's 6 stalls and I only have the 3 animals in there. And so I can definitely fill up the other stalls with some horses, which would be really, really cute, I think. And so I definitely want to incorporate that at a later date, since I forgot it at this point in time. But basically right now I'm just trying to kind of get the layout of the house. And so right now I have the parents' room and the ensuite bathroom. There's the daughter's room, her bathroom, and then a study. And then downstairs, when you walk in, to the left is the kitchen, then the mud room. Straight ahead from the front door is the bathroom for guests and such, and then to the right is your living room. And so, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out overall. I'm very happy, and I was very proud. I think the I'm happy with the roof, and I think the windows look pretty good. So I'm pretty pleased overall, because I know I struggle with those two things. But here I did not, and I was able to put the little, what is it called? The wind, like the northwest, northeast, south, and west, and it spins. I'm totally drawing a blank on what it's called right now, but I put one of those up, and then I put like a little hound thing in the barn, and so I really liked how that turned out as well. And the barn I kind of had to get a little creative with in creating it, but the doors. The doors I had at first I didn't really like, and so I ended up putting two single doors side by side and kind of overlapping with the frame, and they actually function, which makes me happy because I wasn't sure they would, but they do. And so I was able to do that. And then I have the door up top because I know a lot of barns, have that door up top where you can throw hay up there and store hay up there, in the loft area. And so I did put a ladder going up, and then I have that door as well. And so right now I'm placing the two double doors, and like I said, they actually do function. The animals are able to get out in the pasture, and I did put a single door for like the people to walk in as well. And so she doesn't have to use those double doors at all, but she is able to get in the barn as well. And then these windows, of course, because that way the animals can kind of stick their head out and look out even when they're in their stalls. I thought that was a nice touch, and I love those windows. And I think it worked really well. I did have to kind of get creative because I couldn't find like any like hay bales or anything like that. And so I did find some twigs that I kind of placed down as if it was a bunch of hay. And then I did have like the grain, for the chickens that was custom content. So I was able to put that down, and I do put like the cat stuff in there as well. So there is a pet door, so the cat can go all around the farm. He's not locked in anywhere. And then I locked the pet door and the other doors, minus the one that's going out the back into the pasture. I locked them for all dogs. And so my farmer's daughter does have, her name's Billy Joe, and she does have a dog named Sadie. So Sadie is not able to get in the barn at all because I locked those doors for all dogs. Well, the main doors I locked for all pets, but the little pet door I locked for all dogs. And so that way the cat could still get in there and do his mousing duties, but the dogs, since technically the sheep and the goat and the cow are dogs, that way they can't get out at all. So that means that her dog Sadie can't really get in either. But that's okay. I'm not mad about that. So as long as the other animals stay contained in the barn and in the pasture where I want them, I'm pretty happy with it. And so now I'm just putting down the little hay, and I did find some water buckets in debug that I was able to put up for like water buckets, and so that's what I'm doing here. And then I do just size up a pet bowl to kind of use as like a feeding trough because there wasn't really another option for that. And so I just size up a pet bowl and use that. And then I do put like a smaller version of it so that way she can still actually feed them. And I figured that might be for like their grain if they were really like cows and such. But this way she can actually feed them, and it works out okay. But I did went ahead and played them already for one night. And so it was really fun because, they do poop and such. And so when she got up in the morning, she had to go out and fill up the pet bowls and clean up the poop. So that was like her morning chore she had to do before she went to school. So I thought I like that that there's that realism there for the gameplay and such. So I'm pretty, like I said, pleased with it, and I couldn't resist playing them. I was too excited. And of course I had to have the little farm truck, and I was trying to figure out where to put that. And originally I had the gate in the front there, and so I was going to, she could walk in, and then, either go straight in the house or straight to the barn. But I ended up scrapping that. I moved the gate over by the truck, and they walk into the house and they have to go out the porch and then they can go out to the barn, but there's no straight way through to the barn without going up into the porch area and then out the other side of the porch there. So I did change that a little bit, but like I said, I should have chosen a bigger lot, but I wanted the surrounding area to match. And this lot is perfect because if you look out across the road, there's actually like a field with hay and such. And so I am in Brindleton Bay, and I'm up in the, well, you can see the name of the lot, but up in like the upper left corner as you're looking at it, that's where I placed it down. So I could have gone with like a bigger lot and had more room for the farm, but like I said, I really wanted the surrounding area to match. And like I said, there's the fields with the hay around, and that's perfect, and it really feeds into the vibe I was going for here. So now I have like the little orchard for the apples, and that's not really fenced in, past the perimeter fence. And then her little garden for the mom is fully fenced in. And so they would definitely sell their apples, and that's kind of how they make their money. And he also does woodworking. I did place a woodworking table down, so he might sell those as well. And then most of the like honey from the bees and the vegetables and such from her garden are for personal use, but any excess they would definitely go to the farmer's market and sell those as well. And same thing, anything from the cows, like the milk, they would probably use, and maybe the wool from the sheep they might sell, but they would use a lot for their own personal use as well. So and now I'm working on the little porch because, of course, it's a covered porch. And so I'm just working on roofing that in. And, yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Like I said, it did take me a minute to figure out which roof works best. But the more I do this, I think the more familiar I'm getting with the different roofing types and how they work. And so, which is the ultimate goal for why I'm doing the save file and I created this channel. I know I've mentioned that many times, but I really do feel like I am improving and learning a little bit what works and what doesn't, instead of just trying to make things that aren't gonna work fit. So I'm overall pleased, and I just love this build. And then of course I had to have the porch swing. It is classic, and I did use that in my seasons build as well. I was able to use that, but of course it's perfect for here as well, so I definitely couldn't resist putting it in. It's classic for a farm build for sure. So, and of course the chickens, and you can't see them, but I put down a bunch of animated chickens, and all of this I got from the Sims resource. And so, you can get this one where it just has the chickens that don't move, and you can just kind of place them. But there's also animated chickens, and I know Claire has them because she uses them in her eco series. And so she has the animated chickens too, and I was able to find them. And I have them now as well, and they are so cute when you go out and you're in your gameplay and you just see them pecking around. Like, it is so adorable, and I absolutely love it. And then I put some animated ducks in the pond as well, which I use the ducks in my World Wildlife Fund build. And so if you haven't checked out any of those videos, they're all on this channel, so definitely go back and see those. But I did use the animated ducks in that build as well. But like I said, just very, very happy with this build, and it's definitely would be my dream to live here. And then just putting little areas on the porch. So I did the porch swing in the front, and then along the side there's a bench that I placed down, so you can maybe sit out there and look out. And then along the back is a couple of rocking chairs, and then I put a grill and an outdoor table. And so if they weren't entertaining they would probably, like I said, entertain out there most likely. And then there's a little park bench I put down by the pond, and so they might even eat out there sometimes, or just go out and sit while he's fishing or something like that. Um, you know, it would be it'd just be so serene and peaceful. Like lots of seating areas, just to relax outside and enjoy nature and the farm and the fresh air. Like I would love to live here. Like I said, this would be my dream house for sure. Um, and especially the wraparound porch. I've always wanted to have a wraparound porch, and so maybe one day that will come true. But for now, I can just create it in The Sims and enjoy it, and wish that I could have that. But like I said, I really, really, really like how this turned out. I absolutely adore it, and I think, like I said, I couldn't resist playing them a little bit already, and I really look forward to playing them again. And so I originally planned, as I was creating the state build, my original plan was to, fill up the worlds as much as possible and then maybe play a little bit. But I think with these guys, I really already I'm excited to play them again. So I think I might be playing them as I fill up the world, and so it'll be interesting, for interaction purposes as I introduce new characters and such. How that goes, because there's already kind of the base, but there's not a whole lot of like teenagers yet. I think the only teenagers I have is from my rainbow build, and so that's kind of going to be who her friends are for right now, which would work. I think I could see her being friends with Violet and Indigo. More so Violet. Indigo would probably be kind of a bad influence, and Violet would maybe keep her a little bit more grounded, I would think. And so if you saw my creative sim and some of her outfits, which were more, the kind of the bombshell type farmer's daughter outfits, I think that might be more Indigo's influences. And then, some of her more conservative wear is her parents talking in her ear, but also Violet as well. So I could see those three being friends. I definitely could. But we're obviously into the main house now, and I did struggle with the bathroom so much. And part of that was my own fault. I had this custom content bathtub that I really wanted to use, and I really struggled with getting it to work because I did not want um, the shower rod, not the shower rod, the towels. I didn't like them below the windows, and so I was trying to figure out how to make it work, and so they weren't below the windows, and I really, really struggled. I ended up making it work on the bottom floor bathroom, only because I was able to move the door, but that really wasn't an option for the hallway bathroom upstairs, because if I moved the door, then it would have been directly in Billy Joe's room, and instead of being a shared bathroom, for the two bedrooms, even though the other one they turned into a study. When whoever built the house, it would have been a shared bathroom between those two, with the main bedroom having the ensuite. And so I really did struggle with that, but I really, really wanted to use that custom content bathtub. And so in here, I ended up putting the bathtub kind of in that corner. I have not play tested that. That's the only part I didn't play test. I didn't need to take a shower or anything. The rest of the bathroom works perfectly fine, but I haven't play tested that shower at all. I'm thinking it should work, but I don't know for sure. So hopefully it does, but we will find out in the future, I guess. And if it doesn't, I'll have to play around with it again. But for the hallway bathroom upstairs, I ended up having to put the towel underneath the window. Even though I didn't want to, it was the only way for that bathroom to work with that custom content shower that I wanted to use. And so I had to go with that route. I had to choose one or the other. A little bit frustrated with it, but it works. It's still okay. But like I said, I could have moved the door like I did downstairs, but then it wouldn't have been a shared bathroom anymore, and that doesn't really make sense either. And even though the other one's not a bedroom and it's a study, you still wouldn't necessarily go all the way downstairs to use the bathroom if you're in the study. So I'm a little bit frustrated with that, but it's okay. I'm all a very minor thing overall, and so and in here too, I could have made it work a little bit different, but I wanted a double sink. I thought it was really important to have a double sink in there, so um, that's ended up part of the reason why I kind of struggled with the shower placement in the ensuite bathroom as well. Um, just because of the idea I had in my mind that I refused to let go. But I really like in the bathroom, or not their bathroom, their bedroom. I like because it was big enough, and so I did end up putting a fireplace down on the main floor and then up into the bedroom. And I figured it would be the type of house with the fireplace, like the chimney that goes all the way through each fireplace. I don't remember quite the right wording for it, but um, I do figure it might be that, so it would just go all the way through. The fireplaces would be stacked, and so they wouldn't have multiple chimney areas going out. It would just be one solid, but they do have two fireplaces. And then now we're on to the kitchen, and I struggled with this as well because I was trying to use the custom content, and the color for some reason just was off, and so I was trying to find a color that worked for the counters and the cabinets as well as the custom content fridge I had, but I was really struggling to find something that worked overall. And I ended up going with white because the browns just didn't fit, and then I realized I was using I have the custom content fridge, and I think I was trying to use custom content counters but not cabinets, and so I ended up using the regular cabinets and such, and it works well for the fridge. And I think I mainly went with that because I wanted the island as well, and I didn't have something that matched the custom content for the island, and so that's kind of why I went with that. And then I have the little hutch over there, which is perfect, and I was able to fill that up with a bunch of the dishes and just all the custom content pieces I've been dying to use but haven't had a chance to yet. I was able to put all of that in here, and I absolutely love it to pieces. The only other thing I would have added, other than a formal dining room, I would have added like a pantry area, because I think that's pretty classic for like a farmhouse as well, is to have a pantry area. But I did not do that, or I could have added like a cellar as well. That might have been an option. Um, all these little things that you don't think of as you're building, but I'm still really happy. It's a nice big kitchen, and there's lots of storage space in there, and so I'm really happy with how it turned out. Even though I could have done a few extra things that I didn't think of until just now. So, but I did put like a popcorn maker and an ice cream maker in there as well. I figured they might like their sweet treats, especially William McDonald. I think he would have liked it, and then I put an espresso maker and a tea maker, just kind of even though they're on a farm and such, they do like their little luxuries as well. And I wanted to use these shelves, and I originally had the idea to use them for the TV, but you'll see later I ended up having to delete them because the TV just does not work on it. I either have to go with a really small TV, or the larger TV just kind of cut and it just didn't work. And so I ended up deleting those, and I do put the fireplace in the end. And so, But now I'm just doing the custom content items here. So the plates and the canisters, and there's like a little maple syrup jar and the butter dish. Like there's so many great options, and I absolutely love. I can't remember who did this, who created it, but it's wonderful. I absolutely love it, and was so excited to finally be able to use it, like I said. So, and then of course the little cutting board, and there's like a little recipe little thing that you can put on there. So I ended up putting that as well. And then the jug of milk and the basket of eggs. Like there's just so many cute pieces that just really worked for this build, and I'm just so happy with it. I'm so excited. The only thing I hate is like the popcorn maker and the ice cream maker and the espresso and the tea thing. You're not able to use the cheat to move those around. They have to set on the counter. Otherwise, it yells at you that it must set on a specific object, and that always frustrates me because I can't seem to quite get them how I want them in my build. But I was able to kind of do it like this and then put the little plant behind them, and so that works as well. And then there's so many little cartons and such which worked perfectly for this build as well. And now I'm just doing their little laundry room area, and of course she does not have an actual washer or dryer. She has the clothesline and the little wash bin outside, but I definitely figured she would still have kind of like a little laundry area inside even without a washer and dryer. And so I put those down, and of course a utility sink as well. And then the dog has a bed and her food bowls and such down here. And then there is the cat litter box as well. But I do put a bed and a dog food bowl up in Billy Joe's room because, like I said, I figured she would kind of have gotten her way as far as her dog being able to come in. And I wish, you could put more like this. The animals didn't count as Sims or as members of the family, because I would have loved to just fill this up with a lot more animals. They would probably have another older dog that was working as well. I wanted to do a pig, but I kind of sacrificed the pig for a cat because I figure a cat is a must-have for a farm build. You have to have a cat to keep mice under control. And so I kind of sacrificed the pig, which I guess I could have done a pig instead of a goat. But I wanted a goat because whoever created that goat is so cute, and I really wanted it in my build. And I love goats. I would love to have a goat in real life. I would have a whole farm myself, but I really want a goat. I think they're so adorable. But again, maybe someday I'll get my whole farm. So, and now I'm just putting down the little food bowls, sizing them up and putting them down, and then I put the other food bowls, which I did have to move to the other side because having them right there, she wasn't able to fill them with food, and they of course weren't able to eat, and so I had to move them to the other side so they function as a regular food bowl, but it still works. And like I said, I think it's really cute. And one of the screenshots you'll see, the cow he's a glutton, and so he's in there stuffing his face with food in one of the screenshots, which I find absolutely adorable. And it's just the only other thing I would have loved to add, like straw bedding or something to the stalls, but it's okay. It's limitations of the Sims, which is fine. But there's definitely some extra things I would have added if I was able to. And then I have these custom content paintings that were for farm, and so I put them down everywhere. Figured maybe the mom liked to collect the little cute farm sayings and paintings and such. I could see her definitely being into that, and so just having those placed down everywhere she possibly could. But I had a lot of fun with this. A lot of items I've been wanting to use but just don't fit in any other type of build. It was so much fun. And so now I'm trying to do the living room, like, so that TV's too little. That TV just doesn't work. And so I ended up deleting those, and I do put a fireplace, which is nice. And I figure I can see a farm build having a fireplace. And then trying to find the chimney to match everything. I think I did a pretty good job on that as well. But I'm really, like I said, really, really happy with this. And this living room, there's so much seating in this living room. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I love it again. I think it's so cozy, and I can see them having friends over and just sitting and chatting and just having a great time. And so this sofa piece here is also custom content. Again, absolutely love it and was so excited to use it. And so that's I'm putting down, and then I think I have a custom content bench, and I put down two of those in here, and then I have these. Well, I end up moving that chair up top to their bedroom, but I do put a couple chairs over there, and then I use some of the little poofs to kind of use as side tables as well, which I think I don't know if they function as seats in The Sims or just as little tables, but in real life people could sit on those easily, so I put those down as well. And then of course I had to put down some shelves and such to go around. I definitely think they would have those as well. And I was able to, I didn't know they had, so the garden friend rabbit that they have, and I think it's also for like if you do excellent in school, it's a different color. But they also had a pig in that same style, and then a rooster as well, which I had no clue about until I was going through and looking for these items. I knew about the rabbit, but I didn't know about the pig and the rooster, so I was really excited to be able to use those as well. And so originally I was putting the rabbit out here, but then I put some of the sculptures, and that kind of gave me the idea that he might also be into woodworking. And then I was going to do like a dog and cat sculpture before I found the others, and so I found this pig and put it over there. Then I found a different rooster, not the same one that matches, but a different one, and I put that over there, as you can see. And I meant to put some plants as well, but I forgot. So I ended up not putting plants, even though I meant to. So that's a little bit frustrating, but I was able to put that rooster there, which I think works really well. And so if I go back in and play them, I might tweak a few things here and there as well, so I can do kind of the things I forgot. Because I think that little tray, or maybe put some fruits or vegetables in there as well. Something so it's not just so empty with just the rooster sitting in there. But that's for a different day. And then just of course some clutter on the fireplace, and then I ended up putting those little planters in there as well with the benches. And I almost put a bench out there, but it just didn't look right, so I scrapped that idea. And now up to the top floor and finding their beds, which that's a custom content bed that I have, which I was finally able to use. So I used it in both rooms, just in different swatches, of course. And then these are custom content end tables and shelving, so I used those as well, which I love. And I ended up moving their bed. I didn't like it right there because I wanted double seating for the fireplace. I didn't think just one of them would sit at the fireplace, and so I moved the bed over by the door, and then was able to put a double seating there as well. And then, of course, those dressers are custom content as well. And even though her mom's not, like, super into makeup, I still felt she might have a vanity to kind of get ready in the morning. Or if she was going out to, like, an event or anything like that, she would definitely utilize that to get ready as well. So she does have that. And I did put, even though neither one of them are really into makeup, I did give both some makeup and such, just mainly to kind of fill up the space so it wasn't so empty. But, I don't think they would never use makeup. I just don't think they would wear it on a day to day basis, like some others would, because, like I said, they're working, and so they don't really need to do that. So it's kind of more for special occasions. And then for Billy Joe, I put up those because, like I said, her aspiration is to go to the city, and so I figured, she might have pictures of a bunch of famous people, and and that's kind of her inspiration to kind of follow her dreams as well. So that's why I put up all those pictures in her room, even though overall it doesn't fit for her. It does fit for her aspiration, and kind of what she wants to do when she turns 18 as well. So, um, and then I had that custom content blanket, and the pillows I ended up scrapping because I just couldn't get them to sit right. But again, very, very pretty straightforward and simple, but I do like it. And I figured mom would knit a little bit, like that's not her main lot in life, but she does enjoy knitting, sit by the fire with her husband, maybe knitting, things like that. So I did put down a few knitting things, but not like a full on knitting room or anything. She would be more, her hobbies are more cooking and such. That's where how she spends her time. And knitting is just kind of a way to wind down in the evenings, instead of necessarily being something she does all the time. So, and now, of course, just filling up her little room. So she has her little desk area where she does homework. And I gave her like a little journal. I put all kinds of stuff in here. And there was so much space to fill up. So I did like a little journal for her, and then like the little notebook that they write in. I gave her a little fish tank. She might have like a little goldfish or something like that. And then of course it's not an Alexa, but I don't know what it's called in the game. And just, she might kick around a soccer ball and things like that. Like she's pretty active, so she might like enjoy dabbling in sports a little bit, things like that. But I like how her room turned out, and I had some custom content horse pictures as well. So I was able to put those up and utilize those, which I think were wonderful. So, but yeah, it's coming together. The build, it did take me a while. I ended up doing this build over 2 nights as well, because it just too much went into this. So, it did take me a little while to complete it, but I did, like I said, I think I did the main part in the bathrooms, and then went to bed, and then I came back in to do the rest of the build. But I like her room. I think, it's pretty cozy, and definitely gives that teenage vibe, I would say. I always had like horse pictures and such up on my walls. Like my walls were covered with pictures. And so now we're working on the study, which I really like how it turned out. It's kind of small, and I did put a lot of books. And I don't think they would necessarily spend a lot of time in here, but probably once a month, take care of things for the farm, like finances and sales, and, bookkeeping type things they might have to come in here to do. Um, but overall, they probably won't spend a whole lot of time in here. I wouldn't say, they're farmers, so they're out on the farm taking care of their gardens and the animals, and the wife's in the kitchen cooking and things like that. So pretty much done. I just wanted to add in the vegetables and the fruit, even though I could have just bought the seed packets. You don't always know what you're going to get, so I preferred to go and debug and place those down. And I don't know if you caught that, but I did also put down the cow plant in the field, just because the few times I've played with the cow plant, it's like a little pet. So I thought that was a cute touch to put in the field. And hopefully it doesn't eat any of the critters, but if it does, we'll deal with it at that point. But I had to put it out there. I thought that was a cute little touch for this build as well, even though originally I had no intention of placing the cow plant at all. But it is cute when it gets all happy and kind of wags its little, I don't even know what it wags, but it gets happy and sticks out its tongue and it's cute. So that's why I did put him out, or it out in the field. But that's it for this build. If you watched this far, thank you so much. I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I will leave you to the screenshots, and we will see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, and that's all. Bye, guys.